that, fuck 'em up. Wop, 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 wop. I'ma do my stuff. Why you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? Tryna strike a chord, and it's probably A minor.
Oh shit, Drake! I told you he was coming.
All right, let's get this over with.
Hey, yo, why you ain't got no shirt on?
Hey, bro, I just wanted to say sorry for apologizing and say...
You saying sorry for saying sorry? Shut your Ruben stuttered ass up. Boom, roasted. Oh shit, this clapping cold is real.
Hold on, Rick Ross, what the fuck you laughing at? You look like you had a BBL in the front. Boom, roasted.
My God, he's on fire.
Hey, yo, get off that man dick.
He will.
As soon as you get off Diddy's. Boom, roasted.
Holy.
ASAP, Rihanna's only with you because she's curious about girls. Boom, roasted. Weekend, your music sounds like a Tuesday afternoon.
Shit,
Boom, roasted. Kanye, you're divorced. Boom, roasted. Pusha T, your diss had a lot of dirt on me, but your braids have more. Boom, roasted. Nav, who the fuck are you? Boom, roasted. Future, you were better. BC, what's that? Before Sierra. Boom, roasted. Metro, shut your whole ass up and make some drums, nigga. Boom, roasted. Kendrick, you so short, even your deep thoughts are shallow. Boom, roasted. Nigga, that shit's weak. Well, how about this? You can't be in the big three because you're small enough to headbutt kneecaps. Boom,
Nigga, fuck your big three. It's just big me.
No, it's not. Yeah, it is.
Who told you
I'm big. I'm big.
You're
I'm
small,
very big.
man.
I'm bigger
You're
than you.
not big.
I'm big. It's about
Shut
spirit.
up. You're
It ain't about
roasted.
height all
I
the
win.
time. It's about
I win. You got roasted.
No, you did not.
Shut up, Kendrick. No,
Shut
how
up.
the fucking live mutated stick of fucking woke.
I can't come out with my new albums no more. I fed them information to each other.
I'm barely even trying. Nigga, you are on your last breath. You like Piccolo in every episode with your fucking shoulder hanging, nigga. You not fooling nobody. Don't say some fucking exercise. You are barely alive. If you alive. This might be a posthumous diss song, to be honest with you.
We are all very familiar with most of Drake's beefs. But in the earlier stages of Drake's career, he wasn't too interested in trying to beef, and many older rappers went out of their way to take shots at Drake. I guess they figured that he was an easy lick. He was biracial, he was from Canada, he was a child actor, he was not a part of the culture. And here he was, being elevated above many of them. So yeah, their jealousy came out. And with that jealousy and vitriol, they took shots at Drake. Drake, however, did not take shots back at them. In fact, he would usually just put his nose up at them, dismiss them as haters, and kept it moving. But there were a few beefs that Drake had to address. One of them was with fellow Toronto rapper Paige. Now this happened back in 2009 when, number one, Drake got robbed during the summertime of 2009 after there was an incident between Drake and Paige's managers. After the incident, Paige went on to say that he had issues with Drake, he thought he was a snitch,
The person I have with me today is called Big Page, and Big Page is well known in Canada. And you know he was nominated for a song called I Still Fly. The song was nominated for a Juno Award. That's a Canadian music award like the Grammys. And that song was nominated for the Best Rap Recording. The song was written by Big Page, it was sang by Drake, and the rest is history. Though it didn't win the Juno, there's been a lot of controversy around this song and a lot of beefs. So on the line with me now, I have Big Page. Welcome to the show, Big Page.
No problem, it's my pleasure.
Now, basically, one of the core things in this interview is this ongoing beef between you and Drake. A lot of people say that you boycotted the Junos. Now, I did not see you at the Junos. I don't know if you boycotted it, but these are the questions I'm going to ask. People were saying he boycotted the Junos because the song is his, but Drake stole the song. So we want to clarify all this now. We want to know what's going on. We want to know who's playing devil's advocate. A lot of the fans are saying this and saying that. Some of the fans are on your side, some are on Drake's side, some are on both sides. And like I said, some are playing devil's advocate. So first question I'm going to ask you, Big Page. Tell me about the song. Who wrote the song?
I wrote the song, and Boy Wonder produced the song. And I wrote the song, Boy Wonder produced it, and Drake is on the hook. And yeah, as far as production, those are the credits.
In other words, you wrote the song, Boy Wonder produced the song,
Yeah.
And Drake sang the song.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so technically in the music business, does anybody really own that song?
Yeah, I do.
Tell us why.
I mean, it's copyrighted under my name, and I paid for the beat. The paid for the beat was the Boy Wonder, and the song is my song. It was a song that was going to be pushed on my album, and it was a song that I was releasing as my first single. So, as far as who owns the song, it was my first single.
Okay. So basically, now I get it. The song was written by you, the beat was purchased by you, and you were going to push it on your own album.
Yes.
Well, is the song going to be on Drake's upcoming new album?
No, it will not be.
It was on the mixtape? Or he released it as a single?
No, it wasn't on anything. It wasn't on any of his verified released music. It was just on mixtapes that people put together. I guess DJs must have put together. But I don't think Drake himself was pushing the record or anything like that.
How did it get nominated for a Juno? Who sent it in?
I'm not too sure. I mean, I have a team, a group of people that I work with to do these things. So, my team basically submitted it in for the Junos, and they accepted the application.
Okay, and so the song was nominated in a very, very controversial category. Now, as a music reporter, I cover the Junos, and when I saw the category, there was I'm Still Fly, there was Best I Ever Had by Drake,
Yeah.
there was Classifieds, anybody listening, there was a couple of other artists that were nominated. But what caught everyone's attention was that Drake was nominated twice in the same category. So I got a little bit confused because what if that song, won the Junos? Tell me, why didn't you attend the Junos?
At that time, when the Junos were going on, I was going through a little situation with Drake's camp, and the Junos was held at I think it was Prince Edward Island or somewhere far off to the east, and I just felt like the distance was a very far to travel. It was very far, and I just felt like I just did not want to be there because I don't feel like that Juno would have did anything for me. I mean, I wish I would have went to the Juno just to show my support. I have not boycotted the Juno or anything like that. I support the Junos, but I just I didn't really know what the situation was between me, my camp, and his camp. And I felt like there was no need for me to go there and pretend like everything was all good and pretend like I wanted to win a Juno with this guy.
In other words, there was animosity going on anyway, so why just make it worse? Okay,
Yes.
The fans are saying that Big Page is jealous. Okay, so what? He wrote the song. Drake made the song famous. What's his problem? Are you jealous?
I don't think the situation has anything to do with jealousy. I feel like that's not what this whole situation is about. Actually, I know this, but the situation is about loyalty and morals and a person's principle. I just feel like if I have a song, if Drake had a song that was going to be his first single off his album, he was going to submit it to the labels and submit it to radio and put a whole lot of money into that record. And Lil Wayne goes and does a freestyle on it and releases it as it's his song. I think Drake would have a problem with Lil Wayne as well, because at the end of the day, it's about music and money. And I just feel like they continuously try to stop my music and my money. I mean, it's not anything about me being jealous of Drake. I told Drake on a number of occasions, I'm actually proud of you, man. Like, I'm happy to see you make it from where we were to where you are now. It's God bless. Like, not a lot of people have done that, so I'm happy to see that. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm not happy about is the way he would act in the process. The way he acts in the process, I don't think is right. Like, I know people use the term "get rich and switch." I just feel like he kind of got on and he switched. He just kind of felt like he could shit on people that he maybe wanted to shit on but couldn't shit on before because of the situation he was in, as far as who he was as a man and where he lives and things he can do and can't do in the city.
I see what you mean. Have you ever spoken to Lil Wayne about anything?
I spoke to, only time I ever spoke to Wayne or had any kind of dialogue with Wayne was at Drake's party in Miami, and I believe he was asking me and a couple of my people to move over because he wanted to get inside the booth.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he wanted to get inside Drake's booth?
Yeah, no, we were all upstairs in the VIP area, and I guess him and a couple of guys from Young Money came through, and they kind of wanted to occupy that room, that space there. So they just asked me and my fellas to kind of move over. But what happened was, I'll explain the situation. Basically, I was in Miami for New Year's on my own. I was there just I was in the studio, and I was there just networking with a couple of my peoples. And Drake was actually having a party that day at Cameo. And at that time, I knew me and Drake had a little situation, but nothing was really confirmed. Nothing was really was etched in stone, you know. So what I did was basically I was in they put me in the booth right beside Drake, the club owner and the club promoters. And I guess when Drake seen that I was in the booth right beside him, and the cameras were like on us and we were getting interviewed and people were kind of showing us love, he just maybe felt kind of, I wouldn't say jealous, but he kind of felt like he didn't want that for me. So basically what he did was got me kicked out of the booth, or he tried to get me kicked out of the booth with the security guards and police escort. And as the police and security guards are trying to kick us out the booth, the club owner comes and explains that he actually put us in this booth. And while we're doing all that talking, Lil Wayne comes and a couple of people from Young Money, and they also walk into the area. And then now it turns into this is Lil Wayne's booth, so we're gonna have to leave anyways. So that was
wow.
I spoke to Lil Wayne, and he was basically like, "Yeah, move over," and
But Drake eventually transitioned to more of a worldwide audience, and whatever beef he had with Paige was left in the rear view. Drake was a star now, and he didn't have time to argue with some local-ass Toronto rapper. Drake mostly avoided taking any of the bait from American rappers trying to beef with him earlier on. But for some reason, he decided it was his business to get involved in a beef between two women.
Due to some bad business between Lil Kim and Cash Money Records, there was a rift between Nicki Minaj and Lil Kim, and that rift would ultimately become a full-fledged beef. A full-fledged beef that forced people to pick a side. Now at this point, Kim had already been in the music industry well over a decade. This was a good thing and a bad thing. In one way, Lil Kim had already established a lot of people to support her, people like Missy Elliott, Timbaland, and Scott Storch. On the other side of the equation, a lot of artists have already developed their own opinion on Lil Kim at that point. So people like Foxy Brown, who was really close with Nicki Minaj, helped to stir up the beef between her and Lil Kim. Then enter in Ray J. Though Ray J does not call out Nicki Minaj directly, it's clear that he was talking about Nicki Minaj. This prompted Nicki Minaj and Drake to retaliate.
Oh, that was your girl!
Ooh, baby, I be stuck to you like glue. Hey, baby,
I wanna spend it all on
you.
You don't remember when Wayne used to do this to you? Hold on.
I can make it better. Make some noise for the hottest nigga in the game.
Hold on.
say something in front of Hartford? I just want to let you know, I know you be calling women bitches and shit, but I can't say you the baddest bitch. I can't do that because I respect you and I love you too much and you look too beautiful. So I just want to say that you the baddest woman to ever do this rap shit. Hold on. I just want to say, I don't give a fuck what Lil Kim or nobody else talking about. You the baddest chick to ever do this shit. Remember I said that. Hartford, I'm out this bitch.
Give me a hug. Give me a hug. That's family.
The other day, you said something. You said something the other day about people going at Nicki Minaj. Because she's a target now. She's the only female out, and it seems like
that got out?
It got out fast. You said that got out fast. You talked about something that Lil Kim said. Now, how do you feel about all these female rappers taking shots at her?
I just feel like Lil Kim is a G in the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you're part of an era that's classic that we'll never forget as young kids. Me and Nick. So it's like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to get on stage and announce your presence or tell people to pay homage. Like, that's a given, And I've watched Nicki pay homage to her time and time again. I just didn't respect it at all. Whoever else was on stage with her, I don't respect that. Like, it's like, that you're just wearing your heart on your sleeve. Like, you're showing that you're upset. You know what I'm saying? And to me, like, nobody's done that to me yet, But I would never expect like Jay or Ye to get on stage and be like, yo, pay homage to me. That's all you need to respect me. They command my respect with their music and talent, And I feel like that's just signs that you're just losing it. Like, I mean, that's just how I felt. I really did take that personally. Like, it bothered me. And I really don't get too much caught up in like the Twitter, internet stuff, but I did see it, and I just was like, man, you're supposed to be a G, and that's like, that just wasn't G to me at all.
You took it very personal about the Lil Kim situation.
Yeah.
Why did that hurt you so much? Before, besides, riding for the crew, sticking up for the camp, why did you seem to absorb that in that sort of way?
I was just, first thing I'll say, I acted impulsively based off the fact that anybody could really say anything about me, man. You could call me whatever you want, but I just care a lot about the people around me, and I witnessed some things, and it just went, it was something that night I was very frustrated by it. And it really wasn't my place, and I shouldn't have said anything, but I do love Nicki with all my heart. I know how hard she works and how much she does pay respects to those that have come before her. And it was just something I didn't respect. That's all.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe it wasn't my place to say my piece, but I said what I said, and it's over now. So.
I mean, yeah.
It is to be noted that Drake had no problem taking direct shots at Lil Kim, but avoided mentioning Ray J whatsoever. I think this was done on purpose. See, Ray J may be a joke now, but about a decade ago, Ray J was something to deal with. Ray J would have showed up at Drake's house and probably would have put his hands on him. Don't believe me? Ask Fabulous. Now you gotta keep in mind the era Lil Kim comes from. She comes from the 90s, so she's not gonna be pushed around by some dude like Drake.
She came in this game stealing my shit and busting shots at me at the same time, throwing pebbles and shit. And I'm letting it rock. I'm letting them rock. I'm letting her live. I let her live. Because I could have been came and did what I'm doing now. Okay, fine. Now, my problem is this. You're stealing my shit. You want to be like me, but you're acting like you created this lane and, this is something new, the whole Barbie and all that shit. Like, this ain't new. It ain't new, mama. The shit with the wigs and the whole, the creating a character is not new. And on top of all that, y'all ain't want to rock with me? It ain't got nothing to do about no fucking how long a person been in this industry or how long. I don't know what the fuck that punk pussy Drake talking about. Because at the end of the day, this nigga he wore his heart on his sleeve. He showed his fucking true colors by coming at me, and I'm a fucking girl. You know what I mean? Ray J is the one who said everything. You ain't mentioned this nigga name not one time. But it's okay, because I'm going to ride with my people. Ray J said the shit out of love for me. And that's right, I'm going to ride with it. But at the end of the day, nigga, you coming at me, and I'm a female. You let me know that, damn, you stand me like you stand 50J or one of them. You put me in that category. Thank you.
This is a recurring theme in the Drake and Nicki Minaj relationship. She gets into a beef with some female rapper. Here come Drake to play Captain Save-A-Ho. He even got involved in the beef between Nicki Minaj and Remy Ma.
Thinking she back to back. Oh, you mean back to whack? back to back. Me and Tristy laughed at that. They say numbers don't matter, but when they discussing the Kings, they turn around and say LeBron ain't got 6 rings.
Well, we gotta appreciate Remy Ma. She let out some interesting facts during her short exchange with Nicki Minaj. Because according to Remy Ma, it was Nicki Minaj who supplied Drake with all the information he needed to use against Meek Mill in their back and forth. Unlike with Lil' Kim, Drake did not make any direct references to Remy Ma. He did participate in the No Frauds video in support of Nicki Minaj. Drake also completely avoided the controversy between Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. This could have something to do with the fact that Drake and Nicki Minaj's relationship has cooled off over the years. Or he was too busy distracted by his own beef. At the end of the day, Drake always gets involved in issues involving women. And it was an issue involving a woman that led him to his biggest beef in his career. Enter Rihanna. The Drake and Rihanna relationship was the relationship that never really happened. See, the thing about Rihanna, she kind of dates like a man. Men that she takes out in the public, and then there's dudes that she hooks up with in private. And that was the category that Drake was put in. And I think that was very frustrating for Drake. He and Rihanna had a lot of great chemistry from his perspective. They made hit music, they looked good together. I honestly believe that Drake was in love with Rihanna. And it must truly fuck with him knowing that she was not in love with him. For better or for worse, Rihanna was in love with Chris Brown at that stage in her life. And I'm not saying that relationship between Chris Brown and Rihanna was healthy nor positive, but at the end of the day, she selected Chris over Drake. What you're gonna see with this little weird love triangle is Drake does this often. He gets involved with other people's girlfriends, whether they're in a very close relationship or their relationship is on the fence. Drake finds a way to get involved. The thing is, he didn't realize how ambivalent Rihanna was about her feelings, and he didn't realize how petty Chris Brown was. But this love triangle was 15 years in the making, so we have to go to the very beginning, when Drake met Rihanna in 2005. Now, it was just a very brief encounter, nothing romantic really occurred there, and at that point, she was already scoping out Chris Brown. From 2007 to about 2009, Chris Brown and Rihanna would date very publicly. You would see them together at movie premieres, award ceremonies. Their parents met each other. It was a very close relationship. By the time they broke up, Chris Brown was 19 years old and Rihanna was 20. And the breakup was triggered after Chris Brown physically assaulted Rihanna after a Grammys pre-party. Now, we're not going to go into all the details because most of us are pretty familiar with that story. It's what happened afterwards where Drake becomes more of a prominent fixture. After Chris Brown and Rihanna broke up, she started dating actor Mac Wilds. And by 2009, Drake was making his rounds in the music industry. His debut single, Best I Ever Had, was all over the radio, and he was the new up-and-coming hot rapper. Naturally, Rihanna and Drake would be pushed together. Both of them are young artists, and also both of them were pretty versatile musically speaking. They can fit in pop spaces, R&B spaces, or hip-hop spaces. It was just a matter of time before those two artists would be brought together for music. Drake indicated that he was smitten by Rihanna when he met her in 2009, and everything would have been just fine had Drake and Young Money not started doing business with Chris Brown. In August of 2009, Chris Brown and Young Money did a concert in Virginia.
Trying to fit that ass in. Took a half an hour just to get that
that'd be the last friendly exchange between Chris Brown and Drake for a very long time. By June 2010, Drake had already released his debut album, Thank Me Later, and one of the tracks on the album was Fireworks. In the song, Drake expresses all of the complicated emotions he had with Rihanna. Apparently, Rihanna thought that he was clout chasing her, using her name for attention. Spoiler alert, he was. And there's a reason why I believe that he was using Rihanna, because in any interview, Drake would bring up Rihanna's name. For example, June 2010, Drake brings up Rihanna in a New York Times interview where he says Rihanna used him as a pawn. Drake was quoted saying, "I was a pawn. You know, she was doing to me what I've done to many women throughout my life, which showed them quality time, then disappeared. I was like, wow, this feels terrible." Whatever the status of their relationship, by October 2010, they were collaborating on What's My Name, a Rihanna single that was #1, became Drake's first #1 single, and was quite the collaboration. The two looked very comfortable, very close in that video, and of course it made people speculate that the two were still secretly dating. Where was Chris Brown, you're wondering? Well, he was struggling to stay relevant because after the Rihanna incident, most radio stations stopped playing his music. He was disinvited to a lot of award shows. Chris Brown was on everyone's shit list. On top of that, Chris Brown was having these outbursts. Like, for example, he had that outburst on Good Morning America where he threw that chair through that window. Yet, Chris Brown was definitely in his Black Air Force One era, an era that lasted from 2012 all the way to about like 2017. By summer of 2011, Drake was deep into second album mode. And the sophomore jinx is no joke. Drake was already viewed as being some kind of an industry player, so he had to work his ass off. And in my opinion, Drake's greatest work of art was Marvin's Room, released in the summer of 2011. Chris Brown decided to do his own cover version of Marvin's Room, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I ain't too much care for it. In fact, this made Chris Brown look pathetic. Here's the ironic thing. Marvin's Room probably isn't about Rihanna, but Chris Brown's insecurities have already been activated, and he was focused on Drake. And before this was all said and done, there was going to be a blow up. Whatever Chris Brown's feelings were about Drake, he kept it to himself for the most part. In 2011, Chris Brown and Rihanna still would secretly see each other, but because of the media, they had to keep things on the hush. The fact that Rihanna and Chris Brown were still hooking up really got under Drake's skin. It was hard for him to replace Chris Brown if he kept coming back into the picture. So Drake did the most masculine, mature thing to do at the time. In October of 2011, he opened up to Elle magazine and went into detail about the lyrics behind his 2010 hit Fireworks. Drake was quoted saying, "At the time it hurt, but she didn't mean to. I'll never put that on her. I was hurt because I started to slowly realize what it was. I guess I thought it was more. That was the first girl with any fame that paid me any mind." That's some clout chasey ass shit to say, but hey, Drake said it. For the record, I think Rihanna really disliked these little interviews that Drake used to do. Rihanna gives me the impression of a person who likes to keep things nice and private, and Drake kept going to these major magazines, running his mouth about everything. Look, I wasn't there, but I suspect Rihanna was really annoyed. By late 2011, Drake and Rihanna recorded Take Care, a duet for Drake's second album. The video would come out in 2012, where they were all hugged up and romantic, and at this point, we were starting to see a recurring thing. On TV, Drake and Rihanna looked like they were something special, but in real life, the relationship looked really transactional. It's easy to make fun of Drake for being sensitive. How would you feel if you were really into someone and there was lots of moments where you connected intimately, you had a lot of great chemistry, and you kept getting played? It's not funny, it's actually not okay, but it happens to the best of us. By 2012, the media had started to exploit this love triangle between Chris Brown, Drake, and Rihanna, and you started to see Drake act out during his interviews.
I know it's gotta bother you at times that people like radio and like a lot of times, like, you know, I know Chris Brown's running around doing press and like your name comes up and then it's just like how much of it is about the person out there doing press and how much they're being baited into to talk about other people. I know that's like, part of the process that you don't like, right?
I just feel like, man, like just like for the media and like for any media outlet that listens to this interview, like don't ask me shit about that man when I come up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and leave that man alone. You know, stop preying on his insecurities, man. Because you know his insecurities are the fact that I make better music than him, that I'm more popping than him, and that at one point in life, you know what I'm saying, the woman that he loves fell into my lap. I did what a real nigga would do, and treated her with respect. So she's not up there talking down on me. You know what I'm saying? And all those things combined, you know, create an individual that comes up to your radio station and is just gonna, you know, do dumb shit. But it's like, it shouldn't be about tearing that man down. It shouldn't be about wanting to see me and him tear each other down. Like, we have an issue, and it's either gonna drag out or maybe in 10 years we'll laugh about it over drinks. But just let us solve that shit, because it's not me and Kendrick. It's not me and Hov.
It's not you in Common. It's not even you in Common.
Yeah, you're not going to get anything out of it. Like, nobody. I don't want to hear that man rap. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to hear me rap against him. You know, like, I really do this shit. Like, that's not. You're not even going to get anything out of it. So I just urge people, man, to just, you know, like, and when I say people, I mean like media. Like, just leave that shit alone, man. Just leave that man alone, man. Let him put out that whatever Project X or whatever that shit he's working on, and I'm gonna just do. You know, I'm gonna put out this real shit for the people. Like, and that's it. Just let it. You know.
But it's not about.
By June 2021, there was a big fight between Drake's crew and Chris Brown's crew inside of a nightclub, leaving Chris Brown with a gigantic gash on his face. According to Chris Brown, Drake's entourage started throwing champagne bottles. Now that's very specific, so I tend to believe that Chris Brown is telling the truth.
When you and Drake caught light-skinned beef.
Man, that's funny.
In New York.
Yeah,
in New York. So we all found it out.
Yeah.
Throwing bottles. Shit. One thing I respect about you, you gonna go in if it go in.
Oh yeah, I love combativeness though. That's the thing. Like,
I don't know what that word means, but I love it.
Yeah,
what did you say?
A combativeness. Like,
I don't know what it means.
I'm not saying that I welcome all the smoke, but I don't have no problem with all the smoke.
But
like,
once the smoke comes to you,
yeah, I love it. Yes. Like, it ain't, and I ain't even trying to be tough. None of that. It be the most of the time. Forgive me for saying this, but the niggas that I end up knocking out or beating up, it hurt worse. It hurt worse because they said
beating up.
You like, damn, I got beat up by a single ass nigga.
You got beat up by a single nigga.
So that be even worse. I'm like, man, you don't even want to do this. I already know what's gonna happen. Nigga pride finna be hurt.
I've never been this baffled in my life.
No, but shit, you got to, man.
So you run it down on niggas, CB?
Nah, I'm a little bit more cunning about mine. And at the same time, just like, you know what, I'm gonna chill. I don't even welcome. I don't really have no beef or no issue with nobody.
Okay, but let's describe this night.
Oh, that night?
That night.
Man, that won't even between me and him. To be real, we won't nowhere near each other when it happened. It was just a whole bunch of extra commotion on God. So it was never no like, hey, bro, meet me outside. Like, it's none of that. It was never
in my mind.
Yeah, you thought it was a dance.
I thought it was light skin dance off. Going on. It's West Side Story. I thought you walked up to him and said, "Yo, y'all."
Nah.
That's how I thought it happened. I was wrong.
It was just a misunderstanding on both ends. It won't know. I ain't gonna get into too many details.
You know, it's funny now.
Yeah, it's funny as hell now. But as far as that, like,
I'm gonna take a shot for it.
Yeah, brother, like, he good though. He's straight.
I love how you keep calling everybody.
After the situation with Chris Brown escalated to a level where I believe that Drake got a little concerned about his safety, he decided to step back from the situation. By 2013, Drake was on Ellen, telling her that his moment with Rihanna had passed. And I agree, their moment had passed, but they still had opportunities to make great music, and they would continue to make good music together, eventually collaborating to release the #1 single, Work. Chris Brown and Drake will have a very tense relationship, ultimately piecing it up in the end. The bottom line is this: Drake really didn't win that battle. Yes, Chris Brown and Rihanna never got back together, but she didn't end up with Drake either. She ended up with A$AP Rocky. And Drake will go on to take shots at Rihanna and A$AP Rocky in music. A$AP Rocky also would take shots at Drake, implying that he had sex with Drake's baby mother, Sophia Brousseau, prior to the birth of his son. Wouldn't surprise me, seeing as Sophia used to be a porn star. But But don't let this little love triangle between Drake, Chris Brown, and Rihanna fool you. Drake would get into these type of situations often, like when he had sex with Lil Wayne's girlfriend.
Look, there's that part in the book where you say that he came in and told you that he is your girl.
Oh, when he
yeah.
wrap up? Oh, I wasn't worried about that. I mean, I was just, that's just how life goes when you locked up. Yeah, no.
But she's done, you moved on. Life is good. Life is good. Will you rap about that? Do you think it'll end up on a song? Maybe you two might,
No.
No.
She still be texting me and stuff, They stop texting me too, for real, because it still hurt.
This is Drake's MO, and this is why these guys don't respect him.
How did the Future shit start? Like, do you know how that started?
I've been trying to get answers on everything.
Because Abel was like, he didn't sign. There's like some beef there. I knew that a long time ago.
The easiest thing to say among everything is that there's just like women and girl things. Like, whereas like, I keep asking people and they're like, yo, listen, man, Drake's a little sloppy with it. Where like, all these guys, they share like the same crop of girls. But it's like, it's a thin line between like, these are like the community chicks that we all bang. And you're doing certain shit to kind of like disrespect.
But yeah, and everyone on the internet's like, oh, why are they arguing over chicks? But like, if I was like actually with a chick and like, if I like hook up with her once, that's different. But if I'm with a chick and like you or Steiny try to slide on her, that's fucked up.
And
so it depends. I mean, if the Weeknd was with the chick,
well, the Weeknd definitely, that's a part of it. The Weeknd, I think, is a whole bigger thing, right?
Yeah, that's different.
But like, I think even with like Futures, like, imagine just having maybe there's someone in your crew where like just repeatedly you've told that person just like, yo, all these like fair game. But if you see me like pop out with her or like I bring her to the show with me, chill. Like you should be DMing her. Yeah. Like after I'm done with her or like we're fighting, you shouldn't be on her likes. No hard eye emojis, my dude. Like, and you've seen the same person do it like 4 times. And after a while, you're like, yo, this is
like from the outside.
Everyone's wondering, why are all these people coming for Drake? Well, let's look at his history. When Drake came in the game, he was taking shots at veterans. He figured that it was a female veteran, so no one would care. Drake also fucked over multiple rappers from his hometown, Toronto, Ontario. He made it his business to always get involved in other people's drama. And when backed against the wall, he usually runs away. And they couldn't take Drake out when he was on his rise. But now Drake is almost 40 years old and still rapping like he's 22. If anything, he's devolved over the last 10 years. So if there was ever an opportunity to get Drake up out of here, this would be the time. But you're probably thinking, what does this have to do with the beef between Drake and Kendrick Lamar? Well, you gotta understand how Drake's peers view him, because that is why no one's coming to his defense. And the only person he got out here windmilling for him is DJ Academics.